Hi, I am Kenitra Griffin, a student at Grand Canyon University in the Master's for School Counseling program. And I was given a survey on the different dispositions of a counselor. And of course, I'm sure like most people, I strongly agreed with every single one. I have strongly agreed next to every single disposition. My first question says, what qualities, behaviors, and values are indicative of a professional school counselor? And the second part of that question says, what standards guide your thinking and actions? Well, in my personal opinion, I feel that a professional school counselor should be accountable, unbiased, responsible, ethical, patient, flexible, trustworthy, reflective, very reflective, resourceful, and most of all, optimistic. You have to be able to see that there is a bright side to every kid, every case, every situation that is going to come in contact with you in your career as a counselor. The next part of this question asks, what standards guide my thinking and actions? Of course, all of them, but there were a few that stuck out. There's one that says you should promote social justice and equity. If I'm going to be able to be an effective counselor, I have to understand that everybody that comes into my office, into my room, everybody that I go sit with is just as important as the last person I met, will be just as important as the next person I meet. There was also one that says that you should be sensitive to individual learning and social needs, and that you should demonstrate professional friendliness and warmth, which again goes back to those characteristics of an effective school counselor. You have to be ethical, patient, flexible. Like, that just has to be who you are as a person if you're going to be effective. I don't see a counselor who is set in their certain ways or their certain feelings, or are stuck to their one idea of the way that things can go, being successful because of all of the different students that we'll be serving. The next question says, what dispositions do you possess that will make you a successful school counselor? Again, I agreed with every single disposition from the top of the survey all the way to the bottom of it, simply because I may not be the best person at every single part of every single disposition, but I do know that I possess the skill to become the best. I know that I have it in me to master every single one of those dispositions, and as long as I'm willing and keep a you're always learning mindset, I know that I will be the best person to service whatever students I'm privileged to have. The next question asks how the dispositions demonstrate the ability to understand other cultures. Well, there's one that specifically says educators should promote and support curiosity and encourage active inquiry. I think that the curiosity isn't only about, keeping the children curious. You should also be curious. It goes back to that always learning mindset. If you're going to be able to understand other cultures, you have to be able to listen to people from other cultures, to let them teach you, to let them help you understand. You can never go into a situation automatically assuming that you are the smartest person in the room. You're doing yourself and everybody else a disservice. Another disposition that stood out said that we should believe that all students can learn and should set and support realistic expectations, demonstrate professional friendliness, warmth, and genuine caring in our relationships with others while providing intellectual stimulation. Again, all goes back to being able to understand other cultures, genders, and learning differences, especially when they say that we should support realistic expectations. If you are a counselor that says that you understand learning differences, then you are also a counselor that's going to support realistic expectations for your scholars. My next question is, what dispositions do you need to work on before you enter the school as a first-year school counselor? I keep going back to this because I'm serious when I say it. You have to be someone who knows that you are always learning. So my answer to that is going to be all of them. I feel like I could do better in all dispositions because I don't see a day where I'm going to be too good to keep learning. So there isn't one disposition I'm like, oh, well, I should be doing better in that one. No, there are places to improve from the top of that list all the way to the bottom. In every disposition, there's something that I personally feel like I could be better at. Learning does not stop. And lastly, it asks, how do you anticipate using feedback from your annual performance evaluations, observations, and data on students' performance to adjust your dispositions and teaching practices to benefit learning? Not to make this a small question, but it's simple. I plan to improve. I love constructive criticism. I need to know exactly what it is that you saw, especially as a more seasoned counselor, that can make me become as good of a counselor as you are. Again, it ties all into this always learning mindset. I have to be open enough to know that you wouldn't be giving me information that I couldn't use. My principal wouldn't be wasting valuable time giving me information that's not going to be valuable to me and the students of that school. So I plan to use all of those observations as an opportunity to improve. I'm Kenitra Griffin, and thank you for your time.